The Providence Friars looking to bounce back from a heartbreaking overtime loss on Monday to the Texas Longhorns. Similarly, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights trying to come back from a tough loss Tuesday against UConn. It's Providence and Rutgers next. Tonight from the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey, it's the number 25 ranked Providence College Friars against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Big East basketball. Hi, everybody. John Shambi alongside Jim Spinarkle. Should be a good one tonight. For all the talk of the Providence Friars and Ryan Gomes, we focus on Donnie McGrath. The sophomore point guard for the Friars does an outstanding job handling the basketball as well. A pure shooter from three-point range. McGrath has done a good job defensively. Very, very active. And again, we will look to him to be potent from beyond the arc. Now, Jim Spinarkle, as far as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, the offense is powered by Herve Lamizana and Ricky Shields.
And on Tuesday night against Connecticut, they gave Connecticut everything they could handle. Lamizana came out very strong in the beginning, got some good touches, and really got his shot to go down early. So watch for him to try to get those touches. Ricky Shields came off the bench for Rutgers and did a great job dropping 19 on Connecticut. He also has to have the stroke from the outside going for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights to be effective.
The Providence Friars, both one of the top players in the country. There he is, Ryan Gomes. It's Providence and Rutgers next from the rack. Back here at the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey, John Shambi and Jim Spinarkle. Providence and Rutgers tonight. And Jim, both these teams looking for their first Big East win. And I think a desperate Rutgers team looking for their first win. They're 0-2 as we take a look at the starting lineups. Rutgers led by Lamizana, and on the Providence side, Ryan Gomes, a big-time candidate for Player of the Year in the conference. We focus in the open on Donnie McGrath. Does a great job leading the attack for Providence.
Well, one of the things, too, that you have to be concerned with Gomes is obviously being around him, around the basket defensively, because he catches and shoots. He can put the ball on the floor. So an exciting player to watch and one of the better players in this conference in the Big East.
Tim Welsh, the head coach for the Providence Friars in his 6th season. He is 89-75, as you see, all-time with the Friars. Providence off to a good start, 8-2, but this is their first conference game. Gary Waters, his 3rd season at Rutgers, prior the head coach at Kent State. He has found the going uneven at Rutgers, but they've always played very well in this building.
Well, they've played sensationally in this building. They've really been doing things and shooting the ball well. They get the rack crowd up and going. You take a look at the series history, and Providence leading 6-5 the last couple of meetings they've won, but important to remember that they didn't play last year, so these teams have to test one another out early.
Yeah, it's been a while since Providence has been here, and just for some perspective, Providence best player, we focus on Ryan Gomes. He's never played at the rack, so this will be his first experience with this very loud building.
Well, welcome, Mr. Gomes. We'll see what happens. It's going to be fun, and I had the pleasure of being here earlier in the week, Tuesday night, when Rutgers and Connecticut really put the gloves on, and I'll tell you, it was a great game. The rack was really smoking in terms of the noise in here, so it'll be interesting to see if the band gets them wound up and if players do the same.
I don't know how you measure desperation, or maybe that's not the proper word, but the bottom line, a little bit more pressure on Rutgers tonight because you do not want to start the conference season 0-3.
Yeah, and plus with their schedule, it's not an easy schedule that they have, so clearly adding the schedule to the factor of what you just mentioned and the fact that they're at home right here. They lost earlier, as I mentioned, to Connecticut, so you don't want to get 2 Big East games at home right here. A tough loss to Georgetown also earlier, so get the wins at home where they've played well over the last couple of years for Waters, so this is why this game is important early on.
Providence beginning a 2-game swing in New Jersey here tonight, taking on Rutgers, and then on Monday going up against a very good Seton Hall team.
And it's a team, Seton Hall. Louis Orr has done a remarkable job over there at Seton Hall. Another good win today against St. John's, really a spanking. I think it was a 17-point win that they had over in the Garden today. So Seton Hall is led by Andre Barrett. They're for real. I think they've won enough games so far early in the season to keep some people looking at them and take them seriously.
As we get ready for the opening tip, Lamizana and Douthit set to jump it up. Herve Lamizana, a native of Africa, the Ivory Coast, as Douthit wins the tip in Providence basketball. Quickly a feed down low, and this is Douthit. Turnaround jumper is good. The Friars lead 2-0.
And on the road, so important to test down low early. Don't settle, start the game on the road in particular in a building that's difficult to play in and shoot long-range shots. So a nice setup there for Tim Welsh and company to start in close and really go after the basket.
Let's talk defense for a second. Tell me about the Friars and what we'll be looking for from them.
Friars right now looks like a matchup. You can see right there where it looks like a 2-3, but this is more of a matchup zone defense, which means you're going to play man-to-man when the ball is in your area, and then you're going to retreat, and the next guy will pick up the ball as it leaves the area.
Pressure on the baseline leads to a steal, then regathered underneath and put up and in by Adrian Hill. Nicely done.
As the buzzer and the shot clock sounded, that ball was okay. It was a good shot, but Rutgers having a little problems there figuring out that matchup zone just then.
Tuka Cote with the basketball. It is Cote starting in place of Rob Sanders, who's out with the broken fingers. Sanders, their most athletic player, and they will miss him.
And Timmy Welsh mentioned that before the game to us also. Very disappointed with him being injured because he gives him that little explosiveness around the basket also. Good
board by Aksani after the Cote miss. And this is Marquise Webb into the lane. Feed to Hill. Misses the dunk. Rebound Cote. A 2-2 game. The Friars will look to shoot the three. They like to feed down low. And this is a foul called down low. It'll be on Sean Aksani.
So what they're doing, the Friars, is they're trying to establish the game down low to start, as I just touched on a moment ago. So right there, what happens is by trying to establish the interior and the post, you end up starting to pick up a couple of fouls. That's the goal right there, to get some easy buckets, but also put the pressure on the defense.
Sheku Kaba with the basketball. Kaba and McGrath can both handle the basketball pretty well.
It's like having 2 point guards on the floor. Nice combination.
Douthit takes a dribble, and the jumper is good. Marcus Douthit with a couple of buckets, and the Friars lead by a pair.
Always nice to have a big fella be able to put the ball on the floor, and then a little bit of a drift just then, too, away from the defender to put that one through. And this looks like a straight 2-3 right now, but it really flares out. The back guys come out very far, gives the impression of a 2-3, but it's more than that. It's a matchup.
Cote got his hand in the way and was able to deflect it off of Shields out of bounds, and so it'll be Friars basketball. You know, you mentioned the 2-3 zone. It's funny because Providence got off to a dreadful start against the Longhorns on Monday. They went just about 13 and a half minutes without a field goal, but what keyed them was man-to-man defense, which is not their trademark.
Yeah, shook it up a little bit, and also shooting the ball from the free throw line that first half. They were 20 for 21, I believe, to keep themselves in the game and contest a little bit for the first half.
Ryan Gomes short on the jumper, and the Scarlet Knights come the other way. This is Lamizana on the baseline, looking for help. And the three-pointer is good as Ricky Shields bangs it down.
For Rutgers fans, it's great to see Shields shoot the basketball, but how about Lamizana handling the basketball out on the wing, a little pump fake, goes by his man, goes along the baseline to bring three guys into the traffic defensive area, and then just kick it out. So once again now, Rutgers starting to look down low first, not settling for long range.
Cote to the hoop, lost control. This is Gomes off the glass and good, and the Friars retake the lead.
And that's where Gomes is so good also. He's just hanging around, really reads the situation well, usually has a good knack for finding and anticipating where the basketball is going to end up.
Ryan Gomes, an interesting story. I mean, a guy that was not recruited by big-time schools. The top schools that recruited him besides Providence, Creighton, Siena, Dayton. This three by Shields, no good. The rebound off the mark as well. Cote leading the break. Finds Gomes. Back to Cote. And the dunk is blocked.
Lamizana with a fabulous defensive play just then. And the officials are letting them play here because there were a couple of bumps at both ends of the floor. Play on, guys.
Lamizana. Jumper off the mark, and Cote has it go off of his hands. It'll go Rutgers basketball.
That's a great example of Justin John, of a guy making a good defensive play and then hurrying himself at the offensive end.
So a frenetic pace early on. Friars lead it by one here at the rack. Back back at the rack as the Friars lead it by a point. Early on, kind of a sloppy pace, but Herve Lamizana's made his presence felt at both ends of the court.
Yeah, against Connecticut the other night, 6 blocks, so he really stepped up both at the defensive end and at the offensive end where he had 20, but you look at those numbers right there, really doing a terrific job and early on being a factor, which he has to be for Rutgers really early on in basketball games so he doesn't get lost out there and they don't go away from him.
Now, even though he's 6'10 and blocks a lot of shots, offensively we look to find him facing the basket more often than not, right?
Yeah, and he does have the ability to get on the blocks also, but more times than not you see him facing up and doing some things with the ball.
This is Axani, the block. Hill regathers, and Gomes tried to keep it on the baseline, couldn't do it. Rutgers basketball with 16 on the shot clock.
I doubt that time blocking another shot. He's 3rd all-time blocker at Providence, so he must be careful going through.
Axani on the blocks, off the glass, is fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Well, one of the things that Axani does for Rutgers is it really gives them a lift from the standpoint of hustle plays and really fighting, tenacious at the defensive end. Gary Waters loves to have him on the floor, primarily because, you know, he's not going to give you big-time numbers all the time across the stat sheet, but a lot of the things he does so well are basketball moves, basketball plays that you don't see on the field goal stat sheet and the foul shots and the rebounds.
He is the senior and the team captain. The foul, by the way, was on Tuka Koti.
When you look at those numbers just then for the season, not bad for him, getting just under 7 boards a game, so he's always around the glass. Straight up.
Yeah. This is Douthit, jump hook, no good.
Douthit really wants the basketball on the blocks. He's really giving me a presence of where he's saying it for the guards. Give me the ball, I'll do something with it there. He's just a little anxious to get that jump hook going. If you watch the defense, too, they say it's a 2-3, but you notice the guys in the back, you know, Koti and Gomes are coming way out in the corners. There's a breakdown, though.
A 2-pointer, only a 2, as the foot was on the line, and Rutgers leads it by a pair.
That's what makes me think, John, it's a matchup, because if that was a straight 2-3, you'd never see a wide-open shot in the corner like that without the guy along the baseline being around him.
Cava nails the 3, and the Friars back out in front.
Nice pace. We're starting to pick up a little offensive pace right now. The guy's getting comfortable. A little cold outside. It was a little cool in the rack tonight, too, comparatively speaking. I guess we worked our way up to 9 degrees by the time we get out of the cars before.
Kick ball, and that'll reset the shot clock. And Tim Welsh going to the bench, making a substitution. Yeah, they're bundled up indoors.
Did you bring one of your hats up from Miami like that?
I did, actually. She stole that from me. And
I know you're a warm weather guy. Yeah, this is brutal for you.
Unbelievable. The blood is thin.
Now I have another friend down there. I can come down there for 3 months in the snowbird myself with you down there.
Absolutely. Quincy Doobie into the game. Freshman is really giving this team a lot of life off the bench. This is Doobie with the ball. Leaves his feet, finds Lamizana almost taken away.
Well, Rutgers is having trouble with this. They're not sure. It's given the presence where you think it's a man-to-man initially, but then they go to the 2-3 look. Douthit another good hand on the basketball to stick it out.
So the defense clearly bothering Rutgers early on.
Yeah, I think so a little bit. And what you have to do, and Tim Welsh has it figured out defensively, offensively what you have to do is, remember that move? Lamizana took the ball and put it on the floor. Make something happen with it.
With the shot clock at 3, Webb bangs down the 3.
Not playing like a freshman, that's for sure.
Koti the fadeaway, no good. Lamizana the rebound, and the Scarlet Knights will go the other way. Ricky Shields the jumper, off the glass, no good. And this is Marcus Douthit. Jim Spinarkle, the Friars have got to get Ryan Gomes involved a little bit offensively. He's had very few touches.
That's for sure, and they just looked past him again, John. He was in the blocks, he was open down on the blocks. They just decided to take a long shot rather than give him the basketball. But you're absolutely on top of it there. Need to get him some touches.
Ball was deflected off of Dwight Brewington and the Providence Friars, so it'll be Rutgers basketball.
It'll be interesting to see how the guys coming off the bench fare early on, because it is a little cool down there. You know, you get stiff, and I can feel my knees aching already.
Yeah, you're literally talking about guys on the court getting warmed up.
Yeah, absolutely. I said it to, two of the officials. They said it's cool in here tonight. I said, well, you better stretch out those legs, guys, because you're going to be running after 10 kids on the floor soon.
Lamizana working on Douthit, no good, and the Friars look to run. Here's McGrath. Drops it back for Brewington.
Pretty good defensive transition just then by the Rutgers team.
Chris Anrin was open on the far side. Good shooter, a native of Sweden, and now a foul is called. We mentioned the Friars without Rob Sanders. He was injured in the win over Virginia on January 3rd. Their most athletic player, the middle two fingers on the right hand, injured.
Disappointing because he had playing so well. Could have been an offensive foul possibly outside, was it, by Gomes moving?
Indeed it was.
But with Sanders, what Tim Welsh was speaking about before the game, you look at his numbers right there. Had a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks with the broken fingers. They don't want to take any chances or risks with him, but where he's missed on the floor, Tim was talking about the fact that when they need a bucket, they need an athletic guy to go towards the basket to make something happen. Sanders is a guy who's been doing just that for them as their second leading scorer.
Rutgers on top by 2. Ricky Shields, their leading scorer, with the basketball. Lamizana for 3, and it's good. Herve Lamizana, we talked about it, a big guy, but he can step outside and bang down the jumpers.
Clearly a lot of tools.
Good look by Brewington. And Marcus Douthit from the baseline knocks it home.
A nice little flare there by Douthit, too. He got away from the play and just let it develop a bit. Good ball fake. Wow, look at the reaction by Douthit.
How about that?
Wow.
Good block by Marcus Douthit, who leads the club in that department. Amrin for 3. It's short. And I believe a loose ball foul, and that will be on Chris Amrin. Rutgers leading it by 3 on a cold night here in Piscataway. Back at the rack in Piscataway, Rutgers leading it by 3, and Jim Spinarkle, Herve Lamizana doing a little bit of everything so far.
You know, when you take a look at this, you'll really get a good feel for the talent level that he has. See him putting the ball on the floor to create an opportunity for his players from the outside. Well, watch him trail here defensively at 6 blocks against Connecticut earlier. He starts this off by passing play in the point forward position, throws it in deep, and now he steps away and shoots the ball. Difficult to find a package like that over a couple of games for some guys. They were just able to put that thing together in 8 minutes of action. That really sums up the talent level that he has.
And you alluded to the fact if he does get a small man on him later in the game, we will see him try and post somebody up on the low block.
Absolutely. You know, it was funny, John, against Connecticut, he started on the blocks a couple of times to touch the basketball because he struggled prior to that for Gary Waters in his 2 previous games. So it was a good mindset. If you're struggling, get closer to the basket and make it a little easier for you.
Deep 3 from Doobie off the mark. This is Brewington looking to shove to head to Gomes. In traffic, lays it up. Ryan Gomes with his first bucket of the night.
It was a nice little play by Brewington also to get down low, get his hand on the basketball to trigger that fast break. Finally getting Gomes a touch on the open floor.
Lamizana, nice move up and under.
Maybe he saw the package we just put together and said, I want to add to it. That was a pretty nice move right there also. He's put together some nice, almost 10 minutes of action here early on.
Dwight Brewington, a freshman from Lynn, Massachusetts, with the basketball, feeds Gomes. Nice move off the glass and good. And Ryan Gomes now with 8.
Little move of his own just then, too. And I like the ball fake, gets the guy, defender up in the air, but then he finishes with the left away from the defender so he doesn't get a chance to block his shot after a good move. Watch out.
Ball on the ground. Ryan Gomes chasing after it, and a foul call. I believe it's going to be Adrian Hill. Foul called on him.
Here's the post up by Gomes. Watch the big ball fake. Over the shoulder, bang, lose it, and then you take it away from the defender the second time.
How about going left hand?
Beautiful. I mean, it's, you know, what happens there a lot of times, guys will shoot that ball. They lose the defender, but kids are so quick. When they're up in the air, they can rebound and come back and try to block a shot. You go up with your strong hand there, the right hand, and you get it deflected. But he went away with the left. Good, smart move.
This is Gomes again, facing up.
You just feel the confidence in his body just watching him right now.
5-second call, and it'll be a turnover in Rutgers basketball. The thing that helps as well, Jim, is that Gomes not only a scorer, but a good passer. So he gets the ball in the post, and those three-point shooters can spot up, and he'll find him.
Absolutely, and that's a little traffic there. Got themselves into trouble just then, but you're right, absolutely. I mean, he's got all the tools, this kid.
Doobie finds Shields, going to work on Brewington. The freshman Doobie picks up his dribble.
And you can see Gomes on the right corner there. He's going back into the corner.
Baseline jumper off the mark. Douthit comes down with the rebound.
Still confusing Rutgers a little bit because of the way Gomes is coming out to play, and the back guys in the 2-3 generally stay low, but they're coming way out in the wing. Beautiful cut, beautiful look by Douthit.
They like to go high-low sometimes, and a really good cut by Gomes, and Douthit up at the foul line, able to find him.
Douthit very good with the release, can see over people because of his size, and Gomes very good at moving around without the basketball. Nice combination. Out of control. Nice job on the ground.
And now the ball re-stolen. Marquise Webb the other way as McGrath aggressively was trying to feed it up front. Webb can't get it to go, and it's off of him in Providence basketball. Marquise Webb did a good job getting back to get the steal, and then tiny bit out of control going to the rack.
Yeah, the pace of this basketball game isn't indicative of the scoring because the scoring is relative, you know, kind of low at this point with eight and change left, but the intensity level is pretty good. These are all hard-fought defensive sets and tough offensive possessions.
Friars have been good from the floor. Rutgers as well. Friars at 50%. Here's Amron. He's good from three, and he knocks that down.
So easy to shoot, or easier to shoot the basketball when you get a delivery right in your gut as you come across a screen because it's a rhythm shot. You're thinking shot before you even catch the basketball. Nice little set there by the Friars.
Amron, a native of Sweden, a senior, and he shoots 46% from three. When he's in the game offensively, that's how they will use him. A little sloppy there.
And Doobie got lost in that corner for Gary Waters' squad. When you go to that deep corner, you have to be so careful because the Friars will close from the outside in at that point.
Friars on an 11-2 run right now. Kaba finds Gomes in the corner for three. No good. Amron over the back. And the foul on the senior.
And well done by Exani, too, at the defensive end playing Gomes. Good call from the officials there, but...
So a foul on Amron. Rutgers ball when we come back. Friars with the lead here at the rack. The Friars lead it by 4 under 8 to go in the first half. Time now for our Pontiac top performance of the week. As we focus on the Friars, Ryan Gomes, 27 points, 11 boards against the Virginia Cavaliers in a big win for Providence. Ryan Gomes doing a little bit of everything. You see him on the move there, and in this one already, 8 points and a board for the junior from Waterbury, Connecticut. Ryan Gomes, a legit candidate for Big East Player of the Week of the Year, and he is our Pontiac top performance of the week. Ryan Gomes. That performance right there against Virginia, followed it up with another dandy against Texas, 28 points and 7 boards against the Longhorns, and that was on Monday in the overtime loss.
Off to a good start tonight, and the preseason Big East first team selection coming in, so You know, barring any injury for Ryan Gomes, I would bet right now he's going to be on that team the way he's been playing early on. Just a terrific player, hard-working kid, and does so much for the Friars. He's really pretty patient, too, at the same time. You would think he would hunt the ball down a lot at the offensive end, but he's very patient and unselfish.
This is Joel Wiggin to the goal, off the glass and good, a little out of control, but it's two.
Maybe a little shuffle going through the lane, but not one to be called a violation in traveling, so Rutgers gets a deuce.
Gomes on the perimeter, Axani working on him. This is the freshman Brewington. Shot clock at 13, Douthit with the basketball. Feeds Gomes on Axani. Jumper's good. 10 points for Ryan Gomes.
Nice motion offense, too. A little pass and cut, release, post up in the blocks, get it to Gomes, and once again showing the ability to separate a little bit.
Axani almost lost it. Good work down low.
That's where he goes. It goes to work, but he also strong with the left hand, his power hand. That time Douthit around the glass, but the rim and the net became a defensive factor there, too, because it got in the way of a shot block. Axani goes to the opposite side and uses the glass real well.
Right now for the Friars, McGrath out of the game, as the foul here is going to be on Joel Wiggin as he fouled Dwight Brewington. Brewington can handle the basketball. He's an interesting story because he has about 75% hearing loss, wears hearing aids. The one story that I was told that's very interesting, at no time in his life had he ever learned sign language. So you see the hearing aids right there, but he reads lips. He can hear a little bit as Kaba knocks down a three, and the Friars now lead it by 5.
She touched on a great story, though, to see Brewington out there playing. And actually, I almost had to pick up a charge when we were down on the floor. He was trying to run me over early on. I said, no, I'm not into this at all. You can just go right by me whenever you want to anyway.
Rutgers ball on the baseline. Calvin Wooten with the basketball. Wooten, who missed the first 7 with a bad knee.
And notice that Rutgers...
Lamizana trying to draw the foul, couldn't do it.
He did that the other night against Connecticut, and I thought he got more body than he did right there, but he did not get any call. Notice it at the other end that Rutgers is starting to go towards the basket off the dribble a little bit more. Whoa, what was that? That wasn't a pass, I don't think, was it?
No, it was not. Very active by Dwight Brewington. As we talked about the freshman, an athletic body can handle the basketball and made his presence felt in that spot.
Nice little read by him also just then, because as we touched on and inferred, I thought that was going to be a shot. It looked like a shot, but he played it as if it was a pass and found himself in a good spot on the floor. Look down low, Xani's wide open on the baseline.
Lamizana gets the roll.
As touched on before, Lamizana will post up a little bit. You notice him drifting towards the basket a little more. More and more of the perimeter players for Rutgers are starting to put the ball on the floor with the purpose to try to get into the lane, which makes a whole lot of sense.
Lamizana's got 7, the rack coming to life, and a foul is called on Tuka Koti. Rutgers basketball for Koti is second personal.
Tuka Koti is second, and the 16th foul. Both Friars 31. On your draft basketball. For Tuka Koti.
Dwight Brewington having some trouble with the hearing aid. You see him, actually the left hearing aid, taking it out and throwing it to the bench. If it got hit or just not working. Lamizana working on Douthit. Has it go off his leg? No, it's going to be Rutgers basketball.
It's interesting to me, too, from a defensive standpoint with him. So much of this game is communication with guys talking behind you, blind screens letting you know. So really a testament to this, to him to be able to come out here and really play through that, because it doesn't sound like much in terms of, you know, a physical thing because you're playing basketball. It really has a lot to do with the floor sense and the ability to communicate on the floor, especially defensively.
Nice save by Gomes. Kaba almost lost it. Friars basketball. This is Sheku Kaba into the lane. Brewington for 3. No good. And Lamizana with the board. Being harassed by Kaba.
May have gotten poked in the eye accidentally just then because he was way up in the air.
mentioned the communication issue. I know that at times they have had problems with Brewington and not being able to communicate with him.
Yeah, he got, I don't know whether it was the eye or not just then, John, but he took a shot to the face area.
Just about 4 to go in the first half. Providence on top by 5.
I think the adjustment by Rutgers and trying to put the ball on the floor and go by people to get to the lane area makes a whole lot of sense, and see if they can try to continue to do it. Now they're kind of a little stagnant on the outside of the perimeter. There you go, a little drive.
Wigan on the baseline, had it blocked, gets it back. 3 from the corner.
Wow.
In and out for Ricky Shields, and it'll go the other way. Foul is called. Providence basketball.
I think half the students down that end of the floor started to get up to cheer when they saw that shot. I thought that one was down myself.
Thought the 3 was down. Instead, Providence still leading by 5 as Ricky Shields and the Scarlet Knights come this close to 3. Under 4 to go, first half from the rack as Rutgers trails by 5. And Jim, at the Dunkin' Donuts Center Monday night, a lot of controversy, heartbreaking loss for the Friars.
Yeah, I talked to Tim Welsh before about this. You see that shot right now going up. I mean, it was so difficult, the shot to call, but you'll see the officials get together. Timmy Higgins, the lead right now, talks to Tim and then makes the call to break the news to him. Obviously not happy. I spoke to him before the game tonight about that call, and he wanted to make sure that they could actually see it. He was frustrated with the fact that there was a lot of time went by. He was obviously frustrated that anybody would be in that situation to make sure you get the call right. You don't want to lose that particular game. But interesting enough, when we were talking before the game, he was obviously more composed and more objective about it. He said the thing that really got me was how we let that player, P.J. Tucker, come all the way down the middle of the floor. Nobody really stepped up. And I said, well, that's why you play the game. They're kids out there, really, making decisions on the fly.
This is McGrath for 3. Short. Doubt at the rebound and the putback.
Good hands by Douthit to gather it in and put it away. But ultimately, Tim, I know my point, too, I think it's in watching that, I think the officials made the correct call. So I think they got it right, and that's really what it's all about. And to play on when they knew what the call was, even though it took 10 minutes or so to get it done, would be unfair to Texas, obviously.
I think that in the interest of an emotional game, they were down 21 in the first half in front of a sellout crowd, and were able to come all the way back and then to lose it that way. But again, it is the light, not the clock.
Right, exactly.
That has it go off his fingertips and then between his legs. Look down, Marcus.
Nice drive, too, by Wooten the last trip down by Rutgers. Look at them. They're going towards the glass more, John. They're going to have more effective plays if they play this thing 10, 12 feet in rather than 15 out and further out.
Shields with a good feed for Hill, who will go to the line.
You see, they're starting to camp themselves. Hill that time camping himself in, but look at the penetration. Go by the zone. Even they're looking out there, playing a 2-3, giving you the look. You can still put the ball on the floor. You don't want to over-dribble, but dribble with a purpose to go by somebody. Then all of a sudden you have the advantage of a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 within 7 or 8 feet shorter.
Chris Andrew will come into the game to replace Tuka Cote, who's in some foul trouble. He's got 3 now. The Friars relatively undersized. I mean, post guys, you have Gomes and Douthit, and Cote gives them a little bit of beef as he's 6'9", but now with 3 fouls.
I think Tim Welsh would like to have Sanders on the floor, or availability of Sanders once again. We mentioned it early on with his broken fingers, but could really use his presence as another body, an active guy, and a guy who quite candidly has been playing very well for him too.
And he's 6'6" and plays bigger because he's so athletic. Friars leading this game by 4. Gomes being guarded by Hill. Ryan Gomes with the ball on the floor. Nice move to the rack, up and good.
Good little curl. Look at Sanders, watch it on, but a terrific drive just then by Gomes, under control. That's really putting the ball on the floor with a purpose just then, not just dribbling for the sake of dribbling.
Talking about a guy 6'7", 245, and handling the rock pretty well.
Yeah, and moves pretty quickly with it too. Good skip.
This is Cal Calvin Wu mentioned missed the first 7 games of the year with a bad knee. Lamizana blocks. Nice block by Calvin.
Oh, was that ever a facial? Yeah, we've seen Lamizana do a lot of good things with the basketball, and he catches the ball down low and makes a little spin move. And now normally he can shoot over guys who are guarding him. Dallas says, not now, baby. Go the other way with this one.
Herve's used to doing that to the other guy.
Absolutely. You notice that good space, too, between the chest to chest. Dalvin stayed away from Lamizana's shot and his body.
And as they say, as far as the shot blocker, go at him as far as fade away, right?
Right, absolutely.
Tim Welsh with a question for Reggie Greenwood.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Along the sideline, it was an odd play over there that there was a deflection right along that where...
I thought Donnie McGrath might have stepped on Gary Waters' foot, actually.
I was going to say the old, you know, on the streets when you're playing interference and you're pulling around. It looked like an interference on the sideline call.
Nice up and under move, and one. Marcus Douthat will go to the line for a chance at a three-point play.
John, you watch a lot of basketball at different levels. The last time I saw so many good ball fakes, you know, getting the guys off their feet, Douthat and Gomes both showing the ball. And the key here is watch where the ball goes above his shoulder. If you show that fake and it only comes waist high, it's really neutralized because you don't have to get anybody jumping off their feet. When you get it over your shoulder on the offensive end, you really get the defender to bite. And we've seen Gomes twice and now Douthat do that. That's a nice post-up set for both of those two players.
As well, if you put the ball down low, more vulnerable to get it smacked away.
Absolutely, and then you put it down even lower and you have those little guards that become pests for you. So they're doing a nice job, not only showing ball, but also pivoting through the move.
Friars leading by 9. That, by the way, was Providence's first free throw attempt.
Wow. Douthat a factor defensively again. Didn't get a block shot. Lamizana had trouble with that.
Shields short on the three, Wooten the rebound. Webb kicks over to Shields. The three is no good. Kaba has it go off his hands, and they're going to wait. Nope, it's going to be Providence basketball. And they are displeased at the rack.
They'll let you know it. A lot of officials wearing red in here, so you know, and a lot of students floating around. There's some of the red jerseys, the Rutgers people. They're a little more red if you like red.
The wind keeps you warm. Does the wind keep the heat in? Now this is a tough place to play. No doubt Gary Waters, since coming from Kent State, done an excellent job. Hard to figure the disparity, why this team plays so much better here at the rack. Look at that.
When you look at those numbers, it's been terrific, you know. Let me add those up tonight. I'll see if I can get them right. What do we have, 30 and 9? I didn't get that correct the last time I tried doing that, but one of the things that he does, and he does so well, is that, you know, with their pressure defense, they extend once in a while to rattle the opposition, and then all of a sudden they hit a couple of these long bombs, and then the rack, the students really get involved, get the rest of the fans involved, so they've been able to play off it, and there's one beauty about NCAA basketball. There are places in the United States that are just difficult to play, and this is one of them. For visiting teams, very difficult to come in here.
Folks, I'm here to tell you, my partner did it without a calculator or an abacus.
But I did have my shoes off, counting my toes also.
Under 15 to go on the shot clock and the game clock.
Takedown.
And the foul's going to be on Adrian Hill. So shot clock off, game clock at 7.2. It'll be 1-1 for Donnie McGrath. Providence done a better job taking care of the basketball. Last 2 games, a loss and a win, but they turned the basketball over 24 times each of the last 2, and here tonight, been better, only 5 in the first half.
And one of the things where that plays right into the hands of the Friars is that without the turnovers, you're not going to give up a whole lot of quick baskets down the other end, and what does that do on the road to you? It really demoralizes you, it gets the crowd involved, and it gets the Rutgers players energetic at the defensive end, and it causes easy buckets at the offensive end. So terrific number right there. Only 5, as you mentioned, for the Friars in a half.
McGrath makes them both. A 75% free throw shooter. In the lane, spinning.
That's a good call by Jim Burke.
And a foul called by Burke. Marquise Webb was twisting, turning, and hanging in the air.
Yeah, he gets a touch out of control right here because he's in the traffic, but because he's going aggressively, and he understood, for a young guy, he understood the clock was winding against him and he became an enemy, so he was in the traffic at 1.4 seconds, so a nice move to get to the line with the one-on-one opportunity.
Just about automatic for Marquise Webb, a 90% free throw shooter for the freshman from Paterson, New Jersey. This is the second. And Brewington smartly just covers the rebound. Good half of basketball for Providence as they lead by 10. Ryan Gomes with a big first half, and the Friars overall led by the combo of Douthit and Gomes. 23 points on 11 of 14 from the floor for Marcus Douthit and Ryan Gomes. Outstanding work. Friars lead it by 10 from the rack. We'll have more from Piscataway after this. Back at the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey, John Shambi and Jim Spinarkle. Thanks for joining us for some Big East basketball. Time now to take a look at the first half highlights, and they are brought to you by Hyundai. Now, Jim Spinarkle in the first half, not a lot of surprises, at least offensively. Herve Lamizana leading Rutgers early on.
Pretty active and doing a couple of different types of things. Shooting the basketball from long range to get Rutgers on track a little bit. He had put the ball on the floor a little bit also to get them going. Here's one where he takes it himself and goes right at the glass. So I think you'll see him get more involved as the game progresses in the second half. The Providence and Douthit really did a nice job. Look at the hands, keeping the ball alive for himself. Very, very active. And here you're going to see a couple of plays. One by him with a good ball fake and a step across and puts the ball in for an N1 with the left hand. And then we're going to take a look at Gomes on the same play. Watch this big spin, ball fake, goodbye, step away. Next thing you know, you're shooting a nice, easy layup. So Friars really doing a good job of playing with Gomes, with other guys coming towards the basket, making things happen and really shortening the court and get to the basket.
The size guys making their impact felt. Lamizana, Douthit, and Gomes. Friars lead it by 10. Coming up, second half action from the rack in Piscataway. Rutgers trails by 10 at the half as we get ready for second half action. Let's check out the first half stats.
Now you take a look at these stats, and I think one of the things that the Friars have established, pretty good shooting in close range, 15 to 27, because look at the next number on their line, 3 of 7, John, from the three-point stripe. They average about 21 shots from long range per game, so they haven't decided to go that route because they've been effective down deep, and look at the 20 points they're getting in the paint. So clearly I think Rutgers has to, A, defend them in the paint a little bit better, and B, at the offensive end, start going to the glass in the 5 and 7 foot range and tighter in towards the basket.
The tie-in stat to the Friars shooting 56% is that Douthit and Gomes have 23 of the 36 points. So the two post guys, they're making their living down low, and that's why the Friars have shot so well in the first half.
Absolutely, 11 for 15 between the two of them in the post area. So right, they have good numbers. Add to it that Gomes is putting the ball on the floor occasionally and driving to the basket. Let's see if Rutgers can really bring this ball towards the basket a little bit more against this 2-3 that keeps giving me a look of a matchup zone defense.
This is Doobie for 3, and it's good. So a good start for the Scarlet Knights to begin the second half.
2 ways to beat any zone. Keep the ball off the floor and pass it quickly with an intent, or dribble by somebody from the perimeter and make something happen. So you can put the ball on the floor and make things happen against the zone.
Gomes for 3, no good. Lamizana the rebound, and here come the Scarlet Knights.
See if they can get the rack fans involved right here with a little, maybe a minute or so of good basketball to start things off for Rutgers.
Ricky Shields with the basketball. Picks up his dribble.
Look at Exani. Exani is just wide open in the back. Let's see if they go over the top here sooner or later to get him the ball. Although Douthit is pretty long. We saw that move, didn't we, in the first half? Douthit put that one in the first half, that same move. Lamizana back in his face, but that time Lamizana put the body to Douthit and knocked him back an inch.
Lamizana going right at Douthit.
Now here's the tendency to go at the guy who just scored on you. Yep, he panicked, pushed the ball too much, a little over anxious to come back. There's Exani again. There's the long arms though, Douthit. He's got some long wings.
6'10" Marcus Douthit got in the passing lane there. Gomes for three. Off the mark. And Douthit corrals the rebound.
Interesting how we just spoke about, and I'm sure Tim Welsh did, about packing it in inside. And now all of a sudden the Friars are settling a little bit, drifting away from the basket. Lead has been cut in half.
Cote feeds to Gomes. The fadeaway is good. Nice touch.
Yeah, good touch, and not only that too, John, but the ability to use his body to get against Exani at first. Exani played him very well, but then he drifted away and parted away from him, so he couldn't get a hand on the ball nor block it.
Lamizana off the mark. Gomes pulls down the board.
Well, you could see the strength in his shoulders and biceps after that rebound just then.
6'7", 245, a junior from Waterbury, Connecticut, Ryan Gomes. He's got some beef, and even though he hasn't nailed one tonight, he's added the three-point shot to his arsenal this year.
Straight up man-to-man defense here.
McGrath misses the jumper. Exani the rebound.
Good work just then. When that ball hits the floor like that, you know somebody has done a nice job blocking out. Exani was on his man Gomes and kept him away from the ball. Just had to go retrieve it.
Doobie for another three. No good. Marquise Webb pulls it down, and they'll reset.
Kaba got away with the reach in there, too, on that rebound.
Rutgers with a real tough loss on Tuesday against Connecticut. Exani had it slip out of his hand.
May have had a factor, too. Gomes may have gotten a piece of that on the way by, too. I'm not sure, but it could slip out quickly. Nice play by Exani.
Ball will stay for Providence, and the folks at the rack displeased.
Here comes the drive. He comes through. I think he just lost it. I think you were right on it, John, because it didn't appear as if Gomes had a hand in on that play. I thought maybe it reached in about waist high. Sometimes you can get a hand in there and distract people, get a deflection, but no, it was clean. Just lost it on the way to the basket.
McGrath feeds Gomes. Good look to Cote, and the follow dunk by Douthit.
Terrific cut, though, by Cote. Really set that up for Douthit, because when Lamizana went towards him, he kind of left the middle of the floor wide open, and all you have to do is follow up the shot. A little better run by Providence here for the last couple of trips. There he is. He's wide open down low. They just had to look for him over the wave.
They've been using Exani on the baseline, just trying to sneak in behind Douthit on that baseline.
Well, because Douthit's coming up to really attack the free throw line. And Exani, that was the second trip he's been wide open. Nice reaction there by the big fella for a block.
Lamizana again with the block. And a foul on Cabo. Providence leading by 7. Ryan Gomes, he can score and he can pass as well, and the follow by Douthit. 7 under 16 to go in the second half. And Jim, I guess when you look at the Rutgers Scarlet Knights trying to get back into this one, they're going to have to figure out a way to stop Providence, yes, but offensively, got to attack a little bit more. You're mentioning get a little closer to the bucket for some of these shots.
Yeah, either off the dribble. I think what you need to do there is take the ball off the dribble and at least test inside first. Don't get into the habit of just swinging it around the perimeter and then watching the shot clock disappear, and then all of a sudden you get down down to that 10, 8-second range, and all of a sudden you have to hoist something up. Try to be more aggressive and be proactive with the basketball.
Shields for a deep three. That's good. Ricky Shields knocks it down.
One thing about Shields is if you don't come out and guard him, he's going to step back, the old Boston Garden talk, another parquet away and shoot it from longer range.
No dead spots in this parquet, at least not
exactly.
that we're aware.
Oh, you know those tricks up in Boston, the old Garden, huh?
McGrath will reset. Gomes with the pick. Feed to Cote. Good up fake by McGrath. And he nails the three.
The shot's going to count because the action was down low. It's not the shot on the foul, excuse me, on the shooter. Nice step in, good cross defensively. Doobie stayed away from him.
Foul's going to be on Lamizana. So Herve Lamizana with his second foul. Just like that, the Friars up by 7, and they have the basketball again. Here's Brewington working on Doobie. Has it blocked.
Nice traffic effort just then by Lamizana. Brewington got away with a little bit of a hook on the baseline also to get that clear on the other side of the basket. Look at Shields. He keeps drifting further and further away.
Deep.
Goodbye. Well, that's another way to attack it, I guess, John. Keep moving away from the basket.
I mean, do they actually have a play where they say, just take a jumper from somewhere near the arm?
It's working right now for Shields. Streaky shooter.
Gomes hits the jumper. Mid-range jumper for Ryan Gomes, and the rack quiets a bit. He's got 16.
That's a good answer by the Friars just then also. They needed one. Now let's just see if Shields doesn't track a shot down here. Don't force it. You know you got the hot hand. You're feeling good about yourself. Man-to-man defense, so the Friars have now switched to a man-to-man defense as they did against Texas.
Lamizana couldn't get it to go, and Brewington comes down, pushes to McGrath. This is Gomes. Good look. Doubt that is fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Excellent move by Gomes just then to put that ball on the floor one extra time on the break to really force the defender to commit. Watch the defender. Exani is reaching. He's leaning. Bang, you're in trouble because Gomes brought the ball almost chest to chest to make it happen. If he makes that pass from the free throw line or 15 feet away, Exani doesn't have to bite it and go for the fake, and he could have defended it a lot easier.
Exani picks up his 3rd foul. He'll leave the game and be replaced by Adrian Hill. Marcus Douthit having a good game. 13.7 boards. Make it 14 points. And the Friars continue to lead this one as they are on top now by 7. Doobie up top, guarded by Brewington. Here's Lamizana. Gomes is on him. Nice move to the goal. The finger roll is good. Herve Lamizana putting it on the floor.
Nice to have some size. Nice to have a little long arms and really a little bit of an explosion out on the floor to get a big guy to try to guard him. It's a tough assignment defensively.
Lamizana's got 11. Rutgers within 5. Nice look. The slam by Douthit. And Providence back up 7.
First 4 minutes of this half. In the second half, the Friars were settling a little bit on the wings. They're settling for longer shots. Now all of a sudden the last 4 totally different. They're trying to plug it inside, changing their defense up man-to-man.
Doobie gets in the lane. The reverse is jammed down off the miss by Hill as he gets the 2.
Both teams starting to go a little bit at one another right now. Nice drive there by Doobie. Handing out t-shirts here that said Doobie leave. Have a good cut, good catch, bang, end of story.
Cote doing a good job, trapped his man on the block, sealed him off, and then the dunk.
And you know, John, with the catch just then, he did both of the things you just said, and the pass was away from the defender. to really test the waters down low. They're tough out.
So Rutgers down 10 at the half. They're within 7 now, under 12 to go in this one. Back at the rack in Piscataway as Rutgers trails Providence by 7. Jim Spanarkel, the Friars in the second half, moving the basketball.
Yeah, they passed the ball very, very well interior. Basketball is about getting 1-on-0 advantages or 2-on-1s and close shots. And notice in these 3 replays how the advantages come down to good cuts, interior passing. Here's a 1-on-0. We saw a 2-on-1. It's not so much the game predicated on going the full court, getting 3-on-2s and 2-on-1 breaks. It's getting close shots, and that was terrific, terrific work and passing by the Friars to get advantages down low.
You saw the points combo. Douthit and Gomes, 32 of the Friars' 50 points so far. And the passing in those highlights, Douthit, Gomes, and Coty, 3 big guys passing the ball well.
Good example of why they're number 3 in the Big East as a team, passing the basketball with the assist totals.
Doobie for 3 is short. Douthit the board.
Friars went back to the zone defense that last trip, so a little switch up to make Rutgers think a little bit after a timeout.
This is Dwight Brewington, feeds Gomes, faces up on Hill, jumper's no good. Rutgers down 7. The crowd just looking for an excuse to get into this one.
Yeah, that's why those long-range bombs are helpful from that standpoint, but I think at the end of the day, you want to put more pressure on with the basketball and really attack.
Lamizana backing in, nice move, no good.
Went over the back door to get it.
That'll be his 3rd foul of the game, Herve Lamizana.
When you have a shot blocker in there, you can just feel Lamizana moving away from the defender and the basket just a little bit, just to keep him hurrying the shot a bit. Then he gets a little anxious to go after the basketball after the miss.
Marcus Douthit has had an excellent game here tonight.
Nice post up here.
Brewington with the bucket. Dwight Brewington, the freshman, with the hoop. And the Friars' lead is 9.
Really using 195 pounds of strength just then to post up. Once again, the Friars settling back now. You get up 52-43, you have the luxury of going back and forcing the action outside.
Wow, nice block by Douthit. Lamizana top of the key. Here's Webb. Webb falling backwards, finds Lamizana. Shot clock is at 5. Off the mark. And it'll be Providence basketball as Joel Wiggin couldn't find the range.
They want to talk things over if you're Rutgers soon, just because this is kind of drifting away a little bit right now. The fans have really not participated in the last 2 or 3 minutes of this basketball game, other than when Shields hit those 2 bombs. Once again, little hesitation, enough to get the ball fake. Lamizana was the call, right? That's number 4 on him.
Got 4. Gomes knocks down the first. Friars, a very good free throw shooting team. They were actually 2nd in the nation last year in that department. This year, just under 72%. Now, tough for Gary Waters. I mean, Lamizana with his 4th, but Jim, I got to figure under 10 to go in this one. They're down 10. Can't keep him on the bench all that long.
No, I mean, if it stays at around this point with 10, you probably see him back at 6-7. But what he's going to hope for now is that the long ball, somebody hits a long ball to get them kind of the fans back in action. But there's a turnover, the worst thing that can happen.
Nice work by Brewington. And on the baseline, a charge is called.
Brewington a little out of control that trip, where the youngster gets a little energetic and runs down the floor after that steal. Now, it's hard to get players when they're in the middle of action to realize game situations. Good call from the officials. That's a good defensive play. You're up 10 minutes or so left in the basketball game. Slow it down. You don't need a real quick bucket at that point unless you have a breakaway.
And when you consider for a moment that is the first turnover of the half for the Friars, only 6 for the game. Good work offensively, taking care of the ball in the second half. Shields jumper, no good. And it'll be Rutgers basketball. Jim, you look at the Big East right now, and clearly Connecticut, the top team out there in the country, but the next group of teams out there, Syracuse, Pitt, Providence, Seton Hall, Notre Dame, a good group of teams. It will be interesting to see how it all kind of sorts out.
I think it's going to be a terrific year. I mean, I think we've seen a bunch of those teams already establish themselves as teams that are going to fight for top spots in the Big East this year, and it's shaping up. I mean, we have Pitt and Notre Dame on Monday night that we touched on. Early in the year, you have those two teams going at it. I mean, after good wins today for each of them, I mean, there are some real nice games coming up on the schedule.
Yeah, Providence takes on Seton Hall Monday.
Right, exactly.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, I'll be over at the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford doing that game. Good to see Tim Welsh's team again.
Tim Welsh right now without one of his top players, Rob Sanders, out for a few weeks with a couple of broken fingers, and so they're a little short-handed. And tonight, even though they are up 9, Tuka Koti has 4 fouls. So if this were a tight game, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Still plenty of time left to go. So Rutgers needs a stop or two. Needs a couple of buckets, and they're right back in this. If they can make that happen, you'll hear the fans get pretty involved. Friars doing a very nice job, though, taking some time off the clock, being very patient with their passing, and not allowing the crowd to get into it.
Gomes loses momentarily. Kaba tracking back.
You like speed? There you go.
And it's going to be Rutgers basketball. Great job by Ricky Shields pressuring Kaba. And Rutgers with the ball.
See how fast those two guys got from half court right there to that ball? Look at them. Nice work. Good effort by both players.
You and I in a golf cart, right? No chance.
Thinking a Lear jet, we have any chance of catching those two.
This is Joel Wiggin. Shields finds Hill, and it's good.
Wow, a little off balance, wasn't it? Didn't look like he firmly planted the first step, but got a nice little roll to make it happen. Starting to inch back into this. Remember, this Rutgers team under Gary Waters has been very good at the rack the last 3 years.
30-9 for Gary Waters at the rack.
And that's a good timeout by Tim Welsh right there. Team looked a little confused. Just really, first time in a while, they didn't look real comfortable with the basketball.
Providence leading this one by 7. Under 8 to go from the rack in Piscataway. Providence by 7. Both these clubs trying to pick up their first Big East wins of the year. Now the Scarlet Knights 0-2. The Friars tonight playing their first Big East Conference game as we look at the preseason coaches poll. If I said to you the Big East will get 6 into the NCAA tournament, you would say?
Well, right now, yes. The way these teams are shaping up early on. But once again, as you look at Connecticut, Syracuse, Notre Dame, you have some teams right in there. Seton Hall starting off very well. Georgetown starting off with the numbers, doing a pretty good job. So, yeah, I think right now today, yeah, 6 is a good shot with this league right here. But they're going to beat one another up over the next 7 weeks, so we'll see what happens.
Nice job by Kaba, but the ball out of bounds, and it'll be Rutgers basketball. The under 8 timeout. Providence on top by 7. More from the rack after this. A chilly night in Piscataway finds Rutgers trailing by 7. Let's take a look at the BMW ultimate drive of the game. Herve Lamizana going to the hole. A nice scoop. And that is our BMW ultimate drive of the game. Herve Lamizana made his presence felt tonight. Jim, in the open, we touched on the key factors for both sides. Lamizana's been a big part of it for Rutgers. And on the other side, Douthit and Gomes have done a great job.
Yeah, they've matched wits, if you will. And now this is a great time. And I think, as you can hear in the background, the fans are starting to get up, trying to get their players a little more enthusiastic. Not that they haven't been enthusiastically playing so far, but pick up the energy level. Let's see if we can get ourselves back into this game, and we'll see this big trip right here to see if Rutgers can answer for the fans right here.
Webb with the basketball. Feeds Exani. This is Wiggin. Shot no good. Hill active down low. He'll go to the line for 2.
Good call by Gary Waters just then to get the ball going towards the basket. Exani made a very nice interior pass to make it happen. So good use of the timeout. Little zip pass there. And because they're in close, defenders have to contend, and that allows offensive rebounds to get position.
Now you talked about getting closer to the bucket. Providence with a big advantage. Points in the paint, 30-18 for Providence.
Key thing I'm sure Gary Waters talked about also in that timeout is, hey guys, we don't have to get back in this game on one possession because it's not possible. Let's just take the next 2.5 minutes, work towards the 5-minute mark on the clock, and see if we can get within 3, 4, or 5. Just keep it tight and we'll have a shot to win this game coming down the stretch on our home floor.
Marcus Douthit pulling down the board, his 11th rebound of the game. Gomes finds Kaba. Back to Gomes. 15 of the shot clock. This is McGrath. No good for 3. Rutgers basketball.
He was successful going towards the basket. Shields, that's smart. Good move. Goes through the basket, gets to the line. Starting to creep into bonus territory on the foul side with Providence now.
Rutgers getting a little bit more aggressive offensively. 16 fouls now on Providence, so the next one, and Rutgers will be in the bonus. Shields bangs down the first. His brewing team will come into the game, and he'll replace Chris Amron.
John, it was just about this time in the basketball game against Connecticut this past Tuesday night where Rutgers started going to the basket for a 3-minute period of time. It was about 6:38 on the clock. They went to the basket a bunch of times over the next 3 minutes. They were 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And then they got away from going to the basket. Really didn't go to the line as much. So let's see what they can do here. If they can keep the pressure. And guess what? The fans have arrived again.
And so is the full court pressure. Sheku Kaba handling the basketball. Rutgers on a 6-0 run. The crowd beginning to thaw, I guess you'd say.
Nice jump there by Exani.
Gomes for 3. No good. Rebound to Shields.
Rutgers will allow that shot all day long right now from this point on. Basket gets a little tighter. The shooting becomes more difficult. Good ball fake.
Feed inside, gets away from Hill. Exani has it go off of his hands. It'll be Providence ball.
Let's see if the officials get together on this. Nope, no conferring. That ball just slipped out of Exani's hand. It really didn't mean, the intent of that pass was not to him, but it ended up in his hands.
They're trying to find Hill down low. Rutgers again picking up full court. It is an advantage for Providence to have some of their bigger guys, Gomes especially, be able to handle the ball just a touch.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to go by Exani just then, over by the half-court stripe on the left side of the floor. It's a big possession both defensively and offensively for each of these teams right here.
And the crowd here at the rack just ready to get going. 5 on the shot clock. Gomes finds Douthit. Better hurry. I don't think he sees it.
Nope, goes the other way. Exani once again didn't bite on the defensive ball fake by Gomes, the prior touch. So now look at Exani's got him going. You're all up. Here we go.
Just under 7,000 at the rack, and they are ready for the final 5:34.
Gave Connecticut all they could handle Tuesday night. They're going to go after another top-notch team.
Wiggin with the basketball. Feed to Exani.
Good look into the corner.
Shields for 3. Got him.
Great look. Release pass by Exani. Shields stepping right into it.
Ricky Shields nails the 3. And a 9-0 Rutgers run for Ricky Shields, his 4th three-pointer of the night.
And the last timeout has really been a good one for Gary Waters because his team chopped off a bunch of points in the last 2.5 minutes. Got him just about to the 5-minute mark right now at an almost dead-even score. Gives you a real good chance on your home floor to be in the driver's seat. Let's see if they can perform and execute coming down the stretch.
Ricky's mom in the house enjoying the Rutgers run. Shields with 11 points in the second half, 14 for the game. Brewington picked up his dribble, needs some help, finds Cote.
This defense has really picked up a notch. Friars are just having all sorts of trouble trying to get the ball 15 feet and in.
Shot clock at 15, McGrath resets.
This is just straight man-to-man defense by Rutgers, but the Friars really aren't running much.
Open three, got it. Ryan Gomes nails the three.
That's why he's a preseason #1 team selection coming in.
20 points for Ryan Gomes.
Not flushed it at all. It could be an Exani, I believe. Could be help, but I think Exani, after he got that shot blocked, man, Douthat's arms are long, aren't they?
Indeed.
And with this run, Gary Waters was able to have Lamizana sit on the bench. He has just re-entered the game. Good look across. Shields just waiting for it. Let it rip.
AC Mom enjoying it. Friars up for the foul. Exani, his fourth. He leaves as Lamizana comes back in. Gomes down low. The shot is short. Shields the rebound. Looking to push, but they don't have numbers.
Yeah, good transition defense by the Friars just then. It'll be interesting to see if Lamizana can stay away from that fifth foul for another minute and a half or so. Just pace yourself, stay clean for a minute and a half. Get to about 2.5 minutes. Hope the game is still tight, and then loosen it up. Good show by Gomes just then.
Joel Wiggin looking to feed. Hill couldn't do it. Deflected by Cote. It'll stay Rutgers basketball. 9 of the shot clock. Timeout on the floor. Rutgers right back in this one. The crowd has come to life at the rack. Providence on top by 4. Under 4 to go in Piscataway. Providence by 4. The three-point shot is factored in largely late in the second half. That man, Ricky Shields, deep a couple of times, including this big one from the corner. Made his mom real happy. And then Ryan Gomes had never made a three in his career until this season, answering for Providence. Shooting the rock, brought to you by Rolling Rock Beer. Grab a rock. Ricky Shields 4 out of 8 from three-point land tonight. And the Scarlet Knights within 4 with under 4 to go. Rutgers basketball, 9 on the shot clock.
Rutgers has really used the free ball in this building very effectively.
Lamizana going to work on Gomes. The foul, in and out. He'll go to the line for 2.
That's where he has that little bit of a size advantage over Gomes with the long arms. Douthat made more of a factor defensively on him, but same type of move. And a beautiful little drift away from the defender to clear some space and get the shot off.
Got to figure Gomes' tact would be to get the beef on him a little bit, body him a little bit, size-wise that way. And Lamizana going to use the length to his advantage.
Right, exactly. And Gomes would like to try to ride him out with that strength. You know, but Gomes not successful at trip, and Lamizana pretty good at taking the hit and then being patient enough to work his way back into shooting range.
Second one is short, so Providence leads by 3. Wiggin pressuring McGrath.
I think he had ball with the right hand. He might have had the left hand on McGrath that trip.
Gary Waters stoic there. Got to figure he didn't love the call from Doug Shauslow.
See if you see the left hand is still holding. So yeah, you can slow a guy down pretty nicely. Left hand holds, right hand goes for the ball. You think it looks good. Good call from the officials.
Next foul, both sides will be in the 1-and-1. This is Gomes. Up and good, and a chance for a three-point play.
Terrific execution by the Friars. And just great strength by Gomes down low. Watch the catch. Look at the position. Using the rear end, the body to separate, get some space, and then it's just a terrific pivot foot. And he's got some very good skills in the post area in terms of being able to utilize his body, the pivot foot, and really turn and get a lot of mileage on that pivot foot, which is a legal move.
You also like your point guard, a sophomore. Game's getting tight in the late stages. Let's find our big guy. Right. Slow it down, isolate him on the block, and go after him.
And one of the points there, John, valid point too there. And also, if you're the guard out there holding that ball, you want to look at some guy who's posted up and say, is he for real? Does he want the ball or not? Gomes tells me he wants the ball, and if you're going to throw it to him, he's going to go after it. So it's not as big a chance from a point guard's perspective.
23 points for Ryan Gomes. Lamizana with the ball fake, gets Douthit in the air. That one looked like it was touched on the glass, and they will now count it.
Little delay. I think that had a process through the officials' minds just then. What did I see? I think it was goaltending. The ball sat up on the rim, and I think naturally you start to say, well, if this ball goes in, it doesn't matter that it was goaltending. Good call, good correction.
I believe it was Brewington that touched it, and I think you're absolutely right with what happened. I think it took a second, but eventually Doug Schau's with the call, and they scored. Providence by 4. Douthit handling the ball, not what Tim Welsh wants.
A little foot pass in the backcourt. We're going to call timeout, I believe. Good move by Tim Welsh just then. That shot clock was down to 26 seconds, so they were nearing a 10-second violation. Very, very close.
So the Friars call a 30-second timeout. Providence on top by 4 in this one. Again, Providence will stay in the state of New Jersey and take on Seton Hall on Monday night. You'll be there for that one. Should be a good game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that game be number one. I want to see Andre Barrett and company. Andre Barrett starting off the season very nicely, and Seton Hall with Louis Orr really stepping up early on in the season. So it'll be a nice test for this both the Friars and the Pirates.
And as far as Rutgers is concerned, we touched on it in the open, and again, they were picked to finish 13th in the coaches poll, but regardless, Gary Waters has his sights set on something bigger than that. You never want to start 0-3 in conference, though.
No, you don't. You do not want to be seeing yourself at the bottom for a number of reasons, but it doesn't get any easier as the months progress throughout the season.
There he is, our defensive player of the game, our Cooper Tire defensive player of the game. Herve Lamizana. He's come up with 4 blocks, a number of them very big.
That's the total of 10 this week when you add the 6 that he had against Connecticut to the tally.
Lamizana on the season with 41 blocks. He leads Rutgers, and he's our Cooper Tire defensive player of the game.
All about decisions now at both ends of the floor.
McGrath for 3. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line for 3.
Wigan just a little out of control defensively that trip. Went up, tried to clear McGrath, but just landed on him just a touch.
Not a good guy to foul. Donnie McGrath, 75% from the stripe. This ESPN Plus game is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. Advance Auto Parts. Donnie McGrath fouled on the three-pointer. And he makes only 1 of 3, so a surprise there. As the normally sure-handed point guard only makes 1 for 3. Lamizana looked like he was fouled. He was.
Pretty good aggressive move by Lamizana down low that trip. Douthit was right on his left hip, but I think more aggressive at the offensive end. So he gets him there, he crosses on him. That's a good call from the officials. Douthit got him across the shoulder as he tried to go into the entry mode for his shot.
Lamizana with 14. Make it 15, and he leads the Scarlet Knights. Coming in, Shields their leading scorer at just over 14 a game. Lamizana's second leading scorer, 13 and a half. This is the second. A fight for the basketball, but it'll be Providence ball. Gary Waters' group will pick up full court. Gomes will inbound, guarded by Exotic. Finds Brewington. Shields is on him. Brewington handles the ball well. So with Donnie McGrath, you'll see him handling the ball a good bit.
even to go. So that's where your decision making right now from this point on is vital for both of these teams at the offensive end.
They're going to try and find Gomes. They do. 10 on the shot clock. McGrath's jumper is no good, and Shields comes down with it.
Good effort defensively there by Rutgers. 5 guys playing one man apiece, really helping one another out also.
Webb to Exani. Lamizana on the block. Doubt at the block, Gomes the board.
You notice the difference there. Douthit held his ground pretty nicely. Lamizana went to the baseline and there was nothing there because it was sealed off by Douthit. Terrific job defensively to react to a good offensive player's move.
Douthit and Lamizana have gone tit for tat pretty much tonight defensively. Marcus Douthit with 6 blocks in this one.
This is where Rutgers needs to stop right now to keep themselves alive.
Gomes for 3. No good. Cote deflects, can't gather it in, and here's Joel Wiggin.
Go to the hoop. Good job.
To the glass, he's fouled.
Real smart play just then. Stop the clock, get to the free throw line. A lot of good things right there, but quickness helps. There was no hesitation whatsoever. Here you have to start thinking game situations. Game situation dictates I have to stop the clock. I have to get to the free throw line. Smart play just then.
Good aggressive play by Joel Wiggin, the junior from the Bronx.
And obviously, it always helps to finish off the free throws.
93% from the line for Wiggin. Hands the first. Misses the second. Gomes with the rebound.
No need to foul right here, but you gotta stop. Oh, good hands.
It'll be Rutgers basketball. Great job by Joel Wiggin. How about the athleticism? Both hands up. And was able to smother Ryan Gomes.
Terrific quickness, the ability to get off the floor, make things happen. Gomes, I think, thought this ball was going to go out of bounds. You see right there, he lets up on it a little bit, John, and that's one of the things that Wiggin did not do. Look at him, goes after it, may have had his hand on his back, but really Gomes was playing the fact that that ball was initially tipped off Wiggin, was going to go out of bounds, so the Friars would have the ball back. Good extra effort just then to slap the ball down off Gomes' knee. This situation dictates, and Rutgers had a little bit of problem down the stretch of the Connecticut game, executing in the last 7 seconds of that basketball game in particular. But right now, you look at the clock, you're down 40. With 42 seconds, you're down 3. It just really baits you into saying, I wanted 3 to tie the score up. My philosophy is run this ball towards the basket, keep driving and driving and driving.
You see it, I think, a decent amount at the college level in these spots where I think sometimes players forget that if you get a good 2 quickly in the course of the offense, stick with that.
Well, yeah, because the number one thing I like to do is I like to think of your percentages. You come down right now, if you make it 3, great, everybody's involved, and if it works, then that's fine. The problem, though, is that you miss a long-range shot, and let's say you take it underneath 42, it brings it down to 35, then you have to really start fouling, and it's really up to the free throw line. What I like to do is take it in, stretch the clock out as much as you possibly can, and by driving, hopefully you get fouled, you get closer shots, you get to the free throw line. The point being, more good things can happen than just settling for a bomb. But it really, as young players, you come out and you say, I'm down 3. Boy, it'd be nice to tie this score into one play, but there could be, Rutgers could have the ball another 3 or 4 times in 42 seconds here tonight.
Rutgers with 3 timeouts left, Providence with 2. Difficult stretch for Gary Waters' team. I mean, they're going up against very, very good teams. Georgetown, UConn, Pitt.
Look at that last line, John. Opponents combined record 45-4. This is only January. It's supposed to be a little easier somewhere around the holidays, post-holidays.
You would think so. We mentioned the three, if you are thinking of it. Rutgers tonight from three, 7 of 17. Shields the major contributor, 4 out of 8.
Well, they clearly have guys who can shoot the long ball. That's not the concern. The concern is playing the percentages.
This is Wiggin. Trying to get into the lane. Picks up the dribble. Not sure what to do. Coty on him. Good, strong rebound by Ryan Gomes.
See, that's not bad, though. That's a strategy. They talked about it. They executed fine. They just missed the shot. So be it. I mean, once again, Gary Waters frustrated that that ball did not go in, but in a different situation. Are you happy with the fact that your guy got a 4-foot shot, albeit contested? He can't argue with the execution at the end of this play. Then his team comes right out and does what they have to, fouling, because the shot clock and game clock now at 28.8 seconds.
Gomes at the line. Ryan Gomes 2 out of 3 from the free throw stripe tonight. Providence in the half, 4 out of 8.
Both teams with 9 team fouls. So this is a 1-on-1 situation. Huge shot makes it a 2-possession game.
Ryan Gomes with 24 points and 7 boards.
Regardless with Rutgers right now, whether they're down 4 or 5, plenty of time left, almost 30 seconds. Take the ball to the basket once again, just like they did. See if he can go off the dribble and really push.
Marquise Webb to Lamizana. Lamizana puts the ball on the floor, feeds Exani. He's got the dunk, and it'll be a timeout for Rutgers.
That's a good job. It extends the game. You get an easy bucket out of it, easier than a heave. So still in a pretty good position, Rutgers, albeit they're down 3 in the clock. Still a lot of time on it, 20.8 seconds.
So the deficit back to 3.
Well, you see, John, getting back to that point 15 seconds ago, they've already had 2 possessions now. There's still 20.8 seconds, so they could possibly get another 2 possessions from this point on. That's why you want to do exactly what Gary Waters is doing right now. Stretch it, make sure you don't make mistakes, defensively, and execute in terms of the time situation. On the other hand, the Friars are talking about, let's spread the court a little bit. Let's make sure we don't turn the basketball over in the backcourt. Get it to the guys who can shoot free throws and are comfortable. Let's see how they space the floor here and get the basketball moving in the right direction in terms of guys who can shoot well. Gomes, obviously, a very good free throw shooter. They have some good guys on the floor who can shoot a Cobb at 83%.
If Rutgers had their choice, I think Brewington would be the guy they'd like to foul at 46%. They use the other inbounder. Gomes with the basketball.
It's okay. Exani went for the steal first. Nothing there. Foul. Took a second and a half off the clock. Not a problem. All the strategies in the world that Gary Waters can employ right now, all of them go right out the window if the Friars step to the line and make their free throws.
Sean Exani with his 5th, so he's done for the night. Yeah, that's really one of the things, and you're very familiar working at the NBA level. One of the big differences, fouling at the end of the game doesn't work very often in the NBA. Right. At the college game, it does work from time to time.
Yeah, plenty of things can happen. I mean, it's but right now you still just have to be talking strategy. Exani with the 7 points, fouling out. Another good job by him just being tenacious at the defensive end. But even with this situation right here, I still think worst case for Rutgers, if 2 shots go in, you're down 5 again, 19 seconds, drive it back down the floor, try to go to the basket with it to get the same situation. Try to get to the same situation with only 15 seconds or so on the clock.
Ryan Gomes with another monster game. 25 points, 7 boards. That on the heels of a 28-7 performance against Texas, and then before that 27-11 against UVA.
Well, he's the real deal. Numbers don't lie, and his performance in person when you're watching. And the thing about it too is he's steady throughout the whole night. He's not one of these guys that you would say, wow, that he put up 30. He's not wowing numbers that are staggering, but he's just consistent through the whole night. Nothing real fancy, but just basic sound basketball.
The thing you touched on that you like, his ability to pass the ball, and put that on display this evening. Lamizana, did he call that? Gets the 3 off the window, and Rutgers is within 2 with 10.5 to go. So regardless, a huge 3 right there, and Gary Waters' team hanging in.
And they find a way to get this to go down. You know, John, for the life of me, I'm thinking I did a game here last year that he hit a huge bank shot just like that. My memory doesn't serve me well enough to remember what game it was, but he went almost the identical spot on the floor and banked it up off the glass. It was a huge shot for Rutgers. Somehow he keeps pulling them out of the hat. And Friars are still going to have to earn this victory because we still have a ton of time on the clock.
18 points for Herve Lamizana. And again, as you mentioned, it really all does become moot if the Friars continue to hit their free throws.
Well, now the tension mounts, though, if you're the Friars right here, because they had a little space with that 3-point lead. A mistake in their backcourt could really cost them right now. Once again, it's about execution at both ends, offensively and defensively, getting the basketball in the shooter's hands. You know, somebody better pick up Kaba right now. Okay.
McGrath with the basketball finds Andrew.
They got a foul. They have to foul again. That's where they had some problems against Connecticut. Took 3 seconds off the clock, maybe wasted a second or so. Almost the same exact situation on Tuesday night. That they did not foul. They could not foul quick enough on a similar play, John, on the opposite side of the floor, the left side if you're facing. Ball came into the Connecticut player. Nobody fouled. They had a double team. They flipped it back. In 7 seconds, disappeared. Game was over.
All right, now quickly, assuming McGrath makes 1 or both, does Rutgers come down and go for 3?
Now you look 3. Because now you've stretched the clock. You've played the percentages. You're kind of out of gas, if you will. You don't have any more chips on the table. Yep. It's all or nothing right now. This will be interesting.
Big miss for Donnie McGrath as he comes up short on the free throw. Timeout on the court. Providence calls the 30, and so with 7.3 to go. Donnie McGrath, when we resume action, will go to the line and a chance to give the Friars a 3-point lead. So, I mean, all things considered, Gary Waters got to be in his huddle right now saying, we got a chance here, got a good shot. I mean, a shot to tie at the worst.
Well, absolutely. I mean, in the situation that they found themselves in with about 50 seconds left in this game, Gary Waters and his team have done everything they could possibly done to give them a chance to tie or win the basketball game. So whether they lose or not, that's, you know, the other argument becomes philosophically, you can talk all night whether we should have won this game or lost this game, but just talking about the last minute, they've executed very, very well to this point. And going down the floor, keep in mind they do have guys who can shoot. So you look, well, who do you want to get the basketball for Rutgers? You know what? Shields would be the guy if you could get him because he's hit a couple already tonight. But there are 3 guys, 4 guys on that floor, maybe 5 that are confident enough to put it up.
McGrath has missed 4 free throws the entire year coming in, and he's missed 4 tonight.
Wow.
That is amazing.
This really is staggering.
Missed them both.
And a huge door just opened up for the Rutgers team right here. What do we have? Double overtime. What was it? Hit in Miami, right?
Yes, they did.
Double overtime today. Picked it up with a win.
Panthers got a win down there in Miami. Providence played overtime in that conference game on Monday against Texas. That controversial and heartbreaking loss at the buzzer. P.J. Tucker going length of the court in overtime to win it.
See, from a strategy standpoint right now, Rutgers has to take the ball the length of the floor. The Friars want to slow them down, take a little time, force them to take an extra dribble or 2. Rutgers can go either way right now. They can try to drive this thing just for the tie. If it gets clamped, if it's clamped, kick the ball out to the perimeter and go for the win. But let the play, let the defense dictate what's going to happen.
This is Doobie. Quincy Doobie with the ball. Lamizana for three.
Was that ever a money shot? Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable.
21 points for Herve Lamizana. And Rutgers leads it by a point with 0.4 left on the clock, and the Friars are stunned. They're going nuts at the rack.
What is going on if you're the Friars this week with end-of-game shots coming against them as time has been expiring? And as you just touched on, John, there are no questions to be asked of whether that one beat any shot clock or not. This ball obviously clearly in the air. There's 0.4 on the clock as we speak. But the terrific delivery, once again, don't underestimate what Doobie just did on that shot. By dribbling through and getting towards the paint, he forces the defense to sag in and release, and then you can kick it out.
Ryan Gomes had Herve Lamizana, got a little bit lost on the play, just sagged off of him momentarily, and Lamizana got just enough space that he was able to drill a pretty open three-pointer.
There's a guy who shoots it at about 35%, but watch Doobie now. You see Gomes just a little bit there. Gomes had to bite in because remember, this is just a 2-point game at that point. So Gomes is thinking the correct way. I have to help my defender, my teammate out, and step towards the ball to slow it down. When he bites, the great kick out, bang, nothing but money, bottom of the hit. Wow, what a finish here. This is unbelievable.
Rutgers was down 10 at the half in the last 8:57 on a 22-11 run. And just 0.4 seconds left in this one.
And you just have by rule 0.3. Is it you would have if it were 0.3 or less, you just have to kind of glide. You can't catch and shoot. They have time to catch and shoot, but let's face it, not a whole lot of time. So this thing is probably going to go. Let's see what kind of quarterback we have right here, because this ball has to go pretty much the length of the floor because you don't have much time to be real fancy. So look for Gomes down deep.
Clock expires, that's it.
The quarterback tried to throw it. The defensive lineman swatted it.
And it's done. What a win for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Tim Welsh, though, is going to come and say that there should be a couple of tenths of a second. He's not going to get it, though. Looks like this one's over.
This one is over. Rutgers with a wonderful win for Gary Waters. They were 0-2 in conference coming in, and Providence led pretty much wire to wire until Lamizana knocked down that three.
If you want to tape, and Rutgers will keep this in game situations for the last minute when you're in trouble. A magnificent job by Rutgers and just a flat-out disappointing effort, or I should say a disappointing ending to a great basketball game for the Friars, who were in control a lot of this basketball game. But what a fabulous game.
Back-to-back heartbreakers for the Providence Friars. The final tonight, Rutgers over Providence 65-64. For Jim Spinarco, this is John Shambi. A great college basketball game in Piscataway tonight. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Again, the final score, Rutgers 65, Providence 64.